Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be tuning in from, beautiful souls. Today we nurture the strength within, fostering confidence and vitality in a heart-centered practice. Today is day 10 of the 30-day yoga series. For this practice today, you might have a couple of yoga blocks, a strap, a blanket or a pillow, or a yoga bolster for a little support as we settle into these poses today. So start in a nice easy seat, Sukhasana. You can use a blanket or pillow beneath your sit bones. Find a comfortable seat. Place the palms down on the knees. Let the eyes start to close. And give yourself a few exhalations out through the mouth. As your eyes close, bring the shoulders to the ears and breathe out through the mouth. Inhale and breathe out. You can rest the hands on the heart space, left hand and right hand on top, stacking. Soften your eyes, relax your jaw, and find your Ujjayi breath. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose. 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 count in, and the same length of breath out. I possess immense strength and confidence as I connect to my heart space. I am strength and confidence. I am strength and confidence. Feel your eyes resting in your heart space, right between the lungs, deep within the center of your being. I am strength and confidence. Moving from the outside world to the inside world, diving in to your treasure chest. Let your eyes start to open, release the hands. You can bring the legs behind you and come up onto the hands and knees. From here, begin to shift your weight forwards and backwards, forwards and backwards. Give yourself enough of space on your mat and just start to get a little mobility through the shoulders and the wrist and the ankles. Starting to move the body with your breath, inhaling and exhaling. I am strength and confidence. Our poses we're going to hold a little bit longer today than we normally do in our flow. So we'll come into puppy pose now. You can bring your knees directly under your hips and walk your hands out in front. Press down into your fingers and move the chest towards the earth. Forehead can come down slowly. If you find that it doesn't touch the earth, you can always use a blanket or a block. Bring the forehead down onto the prop and start to release through the chest. Can take a few breaths out through the mouth here. So inhale through the nose. Just softening around the heart space, around the chest, front and back side of the body. One more breath. Then slowly rise up, push into the hands. You can move the prop out of the way. And we'll come right down onto the belly. So you can come onto the forearms and slowly lower down. From here, just push your props off that are right next to you. And we'll start with the right arm. So if you move the arm out to the right, the elbow is right in line with the shoulder. The right wrist is right in line with the elbow. And we'll start to push the body over to the right side. Now, some of us, this is as far as we'll go. You could also take a block or a pillow and put it under your head if your head doesn't come all the way down to the ground. You get a nice stretch right into the pectoral muscles, into the shoulder. So this might be as far as you go. If you're feeling a little bit more open through that space, you can place the left foot behind the right leg and start to open a little further. So I want you to notice the body and how it feels. Notice those areas that feel tight. And as you take a breath in and out, invite space. Invite a deep softening. So we start to soften the space around the heart, almost like a webbing or a stickiness that you might feel through stress and tension, past experiences that build up, that weigh us down. Slowly come out of the pose. Now what I would like you to do is just unravel out of the pose. And before you move your right hand, you can stretch that right arm all the way up above and then slowly side with your palm facing up. And you'll So the left arm will come out to the left, elbow right in line with your shoulder, wrist in line with the elbow, and start to move your body over to the left side. So if your head can come down to the ground comfortably, you can do that. But why not grab a pillow or a blanket and have some support? So we try to add some support in our practice. So we can do the same thing off of our mat. Maybe think of the last time someone said, "Would you like some help?" And you say, "No, I'm okay." I do it all the time, and I have to catch myself and let go and allow somebody to help me. Now, if you want to move a little further, the right foot can come right behind the left knee. Close the eyes if you'd like and soften the spaces that you feel. Maybe they feel a bit tight. Maybe it feels like you have some armor across your chest. Breathe space, invite breath, new energy, prana, and slowly release out of the pose. So I like to stay there for about 5 breaths. And you could always pause the video and stay there even longer. Remember to release the arm the same way we did previously. To the mat and slide your fingers now right in line with the chest. So you can see my toes are off of the mat. I just had moved a little bit, so you can slide forwards so that you're on your mat the whole way. Press the fingers right in line with the chest, hug the elbows in, engage the legs nice and strong, and just begin to lift the chin and the chest off the ground without using the arms today. So squeeze the legs nice and firm. Squeeze the big toes to touch. Squeeze the pinky toes down towards the ground. Bring the chin down a little bit. Give yourself a couple of moments to gain some strength here. Really connecting to your strength and your confidence that lies within. Maybe you can peel your fingers off the ground now, just so they're hovering over the earth. Can you soften in this shape? That might be a little challenging. One more breath. And then let the hands come back down. Release the forehead to the mat. Tuck the toes and come up onto hands and knees. We'll come into downward facing dog here. So walk the hands slightly in front of the shoulders, lifting the sitting bones, a little bend in the knees. Press your inner thighs back. Bring the ears in line with the shoulders. And give yourself a few moments here, about 3 breaths. Pressing the inner thighs back, pressing the hands down and forwards, but at the same time drawing energy up. So you can press the hands from the elbow to the hands towards each other, and from the elbow to the shoulders away from each other, like you're wringing a towel out. Lower your knees down onto the ground and bring your right foot in front. So the right foot will come right between the hands. Now we're going to keep our hands down on the ground today. Untuck your back toes. And if you find that your knee is uncomfortable, you can take that same blanket or towel that you had and place your knee on that blanket. Untuck the toes and give yourself a couple of moments here to let your thigh and your hip descend a little bit towards the earth. We're going to get into the quadriceps a little bit today. Soften your belly as you breathe. We hold a lot of tension in the belly. Soften into the low back around the kidneys. And from there, bring your hands up onto your front thigh. Now today, we want to take the hips and bring them right over that right over your knee. So lengthen your tailbone down, and we're going to round the back a little bit. Take a few breaths here, chin towards the chest. Think of cat pose. And breathe into those tight spaces you feel. Could be right around the thigh, the quadricep. One more breath. And then we're going to release. Our hands are going to come right back down onto the ground. And from here, the right hand is going to come forwards and around to the side. You can turn your palm to face up and maybe lean into the left hand and see if you want to catch the foot into the hand. Now, you don't have to do this. Releasing the foot down and breathing here might be enough for you. So just observe how it feels. You can hold the pinky toe edge side of the foot. You might look down. You might look out. You might look back. You might close your eyes. So still pressing the right foot down and back, lifting the heart up, allowing the heart space to open. As you soften your breath, you soften from within. And slowly release the left foot down. The right hand will come on the inside of the right foot and lift your hips. Walk your right foot a little bit wider and forwards and start to curl the toes back. So it's kind of like a downward facing dog position. You can bend your left leg and your hands could be on your yoga blocks. Walk your hands forwards, bring the chin down slightly, and allow your pinky toe to pull back. As the top of the head reaches forwards, we soften into the hamstrings and the back of the leg, softening into the whole body. We soften from our past experiences. It could be something from your day today, or yesterday, this week, last month, or something from many years ago. Just remind yourself that you are strength, you are confidence. And sometimes we disconnect from our wonderful qualities that we have. Take one last breath, and then you can lift your head, plant your right foot back down, lift off your back knee, and we'll walk our right foot back again to downward facing dog. So ears come in line with the arms, little bend in the knees, lift the sitting bones. Take a few breaths and reconnect with your affirmation. I am strength. I am confidence. Every time your belly rises up and in, notice a small space after the exhalation, after the inhalation. Now lower back down onto the knees. And if you wanted to here, you could use the blanket again for underneath the right knee as you step your left foot forwards between your hands. Remember, it's okay to use the props. The props definitely do not mean that you are weak. You could come up onto your fingertips the way that I am, tenting them, which is quite nice. I try to avoid this position where you're leaning on your knuckles, because after some time it starts to feel uncomfortable. Or I might do fist like this. Now from here, we're going to come on up, bring your hands onto that front thigh. Remember, we're not going into that deep lunge position today. We want the hip to be right over top of the knee. So you do that by bringing your left foot in. I have a wall right here. You could simply hold on to the wall. The wall is a great prop. You could have a chair by your side. Now bring your hands to your front thigh and purposely round your back, bringing your chin to your chest. So you might feel some tightness in the front part of the thigh. So in the front side of the body, maybe you're holding some worries of the future. Maybe you feel some fears. Now take some deep breaths. Nice, slow, steady ujjayi breathing. In and out through the nose. One more breath. Oh, it feels good. It's kind of a little bit of discomfort, but once you work through it, it feels good. So you have to find the difference between pain and discomfort. Bring your right hand down right in line with your left foot. You can lean into it a little bit, untuck your toes now, and just notice how that feels to twist. This might be enough right here. You can take your left arm back behind you, turn the palm to face out, bring the foot into the hand, and if you can comfortably grab that foot, you can pull it in a little bit, moving it towards the right glute, and then begin to roll that left shoulder up a little bit further, and as you do that, you let your right thigh begin to descend. You might look up and lean back, trust yourself to let your heart shine bright, full of strength and confidence. Just using the breath for some warmth in the body to burn away, to let go, to release what is holding you back from being your very best self. Slowly release out of the pose, and we come into that wide-legged runner's lunge. So you can curl the left toes back, watch that pinky toe, walk your hands forwards, bring the chin down just a little bit, and begin to hinge, getting into the back of the left leg. 3 to 5 breath cycles. Remember, you're welcome to pause the video and take a longer pose, especially if you feel one side is much different than the other. There's nothing wrong with pausing. That's what is so wonderful about making the time for yourself and practicing at home, where you can follow along, pause the video, and continue on. Great. Let's come out of that pose, replant the left foot, lift off the right knee, and we'll go to downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths. Now from here, you can come down onto the knees and bring the sit bones down to the heels. Interlace your fingers in front of you. Press the palms away. Now, if you find this is uncomfortable to kneel here, again, you can use your prop. Grab your block, grab your pillow or your blanket, and go ahead and sit and use it to help you. Press the palms forwards, and as you lift your arms up, imagine there's a little cup of water in the palms of the hands, and dump that back behind you. Press down through the feet and up through the arms. Few breath cycles. Really getting a nice stretch to the neck and the shoulders, sides of the body. And slowly release the arms. Now we'll do the same thing with the arms behind us. Interlace the fingers. Bring the heels of the hands together if you can. Otherwise, you can use your strap right here. If you bring the strap behind you, you can hold the strap and reach the arms back. And then over time, your hands get closer and closer together. Otherwise, bring the hands together, interlace the fingers, bring the palm of the hand and the heel of the hand, and then the elbows. The arms don't need to go all the way straight. Imagine you're lifting from the elbows up, and now close the eyes and take a few breaths. Connecting to your heart, remembering that you are full of strength and confidence. And slowly release the arms. So we'll do that one more time. Interlace the hands in front. This time do it the opposite way. That feels a little different. Press the palms away, reach the arms up and overhead, press into the tops of the feet, lift up through the palms of the hands, draw the ribs in a little bit, and stretch up and back. You can feel the pelvic floor lined up with the navel, lined up with the heart, the throat, the crown of the head. Take a few breaths. And release the arms down to the sides. So we'll move our hands to the back side of the body. Now, as you bring your hands behind you, if you're not using the strap, again, interlace them the way that feels different. Palms of the hands, heels of the hands, elbows, arm bones. You can even leave the knuckles right on the sacrum. Take a few breaths, or you can start to lift them. Close your eyes. Find that line right from the armpits to the center of your being. Infusing that space with new energy. Almost like when warm air hits the window in the morning, it takes the dew off the window, just clearing out the space. Last breath, and release your arms. Turn your palms to face up on the thighs. You can rest the tongue again on the roof of the mouth, and just notice any sensations you feel in your upper body. You may repeat your affirmation, I am strong and confident. Let your eyes start to open, release the hands, bring the legs out in front. Now for the next pose, we're going to do half virasana. So from here, you can take your right leg back behind you, press the top of the foot down, and feel the sit bones on the ground. You may also want your blanket here. You can place the blanket underneath the sit bones, and you just place it on that left side. Bring the right foot back. Same thing here, you could also use the block. Hands can come behind you, bend the left leg. Now this is important, lift the sit bones, tuck the pelvis, and set it down onto the ground. This might be as far as you go. Notice if you're rounding your back forwards, you want to press through the sit bones, roll the arm bones back, and if you find that you can go a little further, you might come onto your forearms here. You can let the left leg go straight as well. Again, notice if you're sagging into your upper back, press into the forearms, feel your strength, close the eyes. I am confidence, I am strength. I am connecting to my heart space and letting go of what isn't serving me. Nurturing. Take another breath or two. Press into the hands, push yourself up. You can lean to the left side, release. So you'll find that the knee now is getting flushed with new energy, and you'll move your blanket or your block over to the right side. Lean onto the right leg, bring the left one around. Press into the top of the foot. Adjust yourself so that your knee is almost in line with your hip point, right? You don't want to have your knee too far out to the side, and especially if you have any knee discomfort, be mindful you might need to lift yourself up a little higher. Bend your right leg to start, lift the sit bones, tuck the pelvis, release it back down, and then you can slowly lower onto the forearms. Press into the forearms, lift the chest, stretch the leg out if that's available to you. And take 3 to 5 breaths. Close the eyes. It's really allowing yourself to feel from within. Any tightness, any darkness, letting it shift and fade so that you can feel the beauty of your heart. One last breath. Press into the hands, push yourself up, lean into the right side, bring the left leg around. Give yourself a few moments. You can sit tall, notice how you feel. I can feel prana moving through my upper body, all the way down through my legs. Now we'll move on to the back. So from here, have your blanket. You can open it up into a nice square position or a rectangle and just have it underneath you. We're going to use it for our shoulders as we come into bridge pose. So come on down, use your elbows, bring your shoulders so they're on top of the blanket. Bring the arm bones down by your sides, tuck your shoulder blades under. Press into your feet and just see if you can brush your hands against your heels. If not, move your feet a little closer. It doesn't have to be exact. Tuck your shoulder blades under. Press into the pinky toe edge side of the hand. Push into the shoulders and bend the arms. Press into the elbows as if I'm pressing down into the earth, making small indentions into the mat from my elbows, my arm bones, and my head and my feet. Take 3 breaths. I am strength. I am confidence. I am connecting to my heart. One last breath. And release. Take your feet nice and wide. Let your knees come together. Place one hand on the belly and one hand on the heart. Soften your eyes. From here, you'll release the knees, walk the feet underneath the knees once again. You can use your bolster if you'd like, or a blanket, or a pillow. Even a yoga block works well. Cross your left leg over the right, and just letting your legs fall onto the prop, letting them stay there for a moment. Take the left arm out to the side into a cactus or a T position. Place the right hand across the belly, and turn your gaze towards the left. Again, noticing any places that feel extremely tight or being held, constricted. Almost like there's a webbing across the body. Use the warmth from the breath to soften the space. Let's take the second side. Remember, you can pause the video and stay in these poses longer. Bring your bolster back to the second side and cross your right leg over the top. Each day you practice can be slightly different. You don't have to do a intense vinyasa or flow each day. You can take a yin style class or a yoga nidra or restorative or a grounding practice. What's important is that you find the time to be consistent and to get on your mat to practice. And when you don't have that time, maybe you make it a walking meditation as you move through your day. Soften your belly, soften your chest, relax the mind completely. As the stress starts to fade away, the heart begins to open. The nervous system shifts into rest and digest. Now from here, we'll come out of the pose and we'll come into Shavasana. I will link a longer Shavasana right here for you. I'm going to use the bolster today under my knees, and you're welcome to do so. If you take the bolster or a blanket and place it under your knees, it helps to release any pain or discomfort you might feel in your low back. You can take the blanket and bring it under the head and just fold it so you have a little cushioning. And from there, bring your arms right down by your sides with your palms facing skyward. If you feel cool now, take a blanket and cover yourself. Turn the lights off or cover your eyes. Most importantly, be sure you practice this pose. It's the most important one. You let the new energy soak into all the cells of the body. Feel your arms and your legs relaxing. Relax your eyes as they shut. Soften your jaw. Feel your cheeks widening. The space between the eyes. Relaxed. The head and the arms heavy. The legs letting go. The belly soft. And the heart space shining bright. Let your eyes rest in the heart space. You might visualize like you're looking into a clear body of water, seeing your reflection, looking into the strength and the confidence that you hold within. Let your body rest here now for a few more minutes. As you start to hear my voice again, just begin to let the body awaken without needing to move quickly, jumping into fifth gear. Feel your breath. Feel the space between each breath, and start to feel your fingers and your toes, your wrists and your ankles begin to move and awaken. You can reach the arms overhead. Then roll onto your right or your left side. Rest your head on your arm. Cover your hand over your eyes. Taking one more moment to enjoy that darkness, that time within, the connection to your heart. You can use your hands to push yourself upward and return into that easy seat that you started with, cross-legged or kneeling. We'll close the practice today by bringing our hands to our heart space. Let your eyes close. Reconnect with your affirmation. I am strength, I am confidence, and I nurture the love within me. Let's bow our heads to each other and all beings. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Namaste.